Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Dinosaurs are back. Does life find a way? Find out in our review of Jurassic World: A Fallen Kingdom. And there's a new Ninja Turtles reboot, as well as the Creed 2 trailer. Will we get more Star Wars standalone films? There's going to be a Silk spin-off in Sony's Spiderverse. And we talk a whole lot about Masterchef versus My Kitchen Rules in this week's episode of Cognitive Recalibration. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration podcast. I'm your host Shravan. I've got my co-host Taran here with me.
Hey everyone.
This week we're going to be talking about Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. We both watched it last night. We kind of didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, I definitely did want to watch it.
But we'll tell you how we felt about that movie in a bit. As usual, we have our news segment first. So to start off the news segment, I've got a bit of news which I just saw about a Ninja Turtles reboot. So they're going to reboot those movies. I never actually watched either of them. And apparently Michael Bay is still involved in these ones.
As a producer?
As a producer, yeah.
Okay, yep.
But apparently it's a darker take on the Ninja Turtles.
Anything that's produced by Michael Bay, though, just ends up looking like a Michael Bay movie.
I don't think there's a director attached, but the other producers are Brad Fuller and Andrew Form. Apparently they've been producing increasingly better stuff in recent years.
Okay.
But I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I don't know who they are either. But I'm sure we've seen some stuff they're attached to.
Yeah, probably seen something.
I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not really looking forward to this, but I'll probably watch it when it comes out.
The guy writing the article's like, it'd be good if Taika Waititi directed it. It wouldn't be dark then, though.
No, it would be a comedy. It would be a dark comedy.
But I don't think he will. Isn't he going to make the next Thor? If they do make another Thor?
I don't know if that's definitely happening. He's doing another movie at the moment. Apparently he plays Hitler in it, so...
Oh, so he's actually in it.
Yeah. Well, he's in all these movies, in some capacity.
Yeah. I guess we don't have much to say about that apart from...
Are you looking forward to it?
Not really, because I didn't even watch the previous ones.
I've watched both of them. They're alright. They're a bit stupid. It's like Transformers shit, except with Ninja Turtles.
This is the second one, the one with Megan Fox?
She's in both of them.
Okay. Oh, she's in both, yeah.
Yeah, she's in both of them. She plays April.
Oh, the second one's the one with the guy from Arrow.
Yeah, it's got the guy from Arrow.
Moving on, I guess we'll talk about the Creed 2 trailer, which I kind of completely randomly watched. It came up as an ad before another YouTube video, and I just watched it.
The question is, why do you not have ad blocker?
It was on my phone. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. What do you think?
I haven't seen the first one, but this one looks pretty interesting.
The first one's really good. You should watch it.
Is Sylvester Stallone main character in it?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's
in the first one.
Yeah, it's him and Michael B. Jordan. They have like level pegging for main character.
But in this one, it looks like he's not in it that much. Sylvester Stallone.
I don't know. I think he still might be in it quite a bit. It doesn't look like he's in the trailer that much, but I think he might be. Like, he's the one that trains Adonis. I think that's how you say his name. Adonis in the first one. Have you seen the original Rockies?
I've probably seen the first one a long time ago. I don't really remember them, but yeah.
Do you know the black guy in the original Rockies that dies when Dolph Lundgren fights him? So there's a black guy, and they have a boxing match. It's a bit stupid, actually. But basically, Dolph Lundgren's this Russian dude, I think, and he basically kills him. And that black guy is Michael B. Jordan's dad.
Okay. And where does Sylvester Stallone come in?
Sylvester Stallone was friends with his dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But in the original Rocky movie, Sylvester Stallone fights Dolph Lundgren again, and then he beats him after he kills the guy.
Ah, yeah.
But anyway, the first movie doesn't really have a lot to do with that. It's pretty serious. Sylvester Stallone has cancer and he's trying to fight through it. And then Michael B. Jordan's trying to become a boxer, but he sucks shit. He keeps getting beat up because he wants to, like, follow in his father's footsteps. And then Sylvester Stallone trains him and he wins a fight. I think that's what happens from memory. But this one looks like it might be a bit more fun. So the guy that he's fighting in the ring is Dolph Lundgren's son.
Okay.
Do you know how that's why they're like, oh, is this about your father or is this about, like, just fighting or whatever?
Yeah.
So it could be interesting. It's like a...
So at the end you see him. You see someone's name.
Yeah, so that's... I forget what his last name is. That's Dolph Lundgren's last name.
Drago, I think.
And Dolph Lundgren is in this, I think.
Yeah, it's Drago.
Yeah. Ivan Drago, isn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm pretty sure Dolph Lundgren... Yeah, Dolph Lundgren is in it. So... Yeah, it'll be an interesting follow-up to that movie, I guess. Whereas the first movie's a bit of a follow-up, but it's not like a direct follow-up from that.
When's that coming out?
End of this year.
Okay, so it's still this year.
Yeah.
21st November.
Yeah, I think...
Is this the first trailer that's been out?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's pretty late. Yeah. It's not directed by...
Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler. I'm hoping it's good, though.
Yeah, hope it's good. You have some Ant-Man and the Wasp news? A whole bunch of it?
Well, not a bunch. I think it's just 2. So, Kevin Feige confirmed that it's a direct follow-up. No. It will directly follow on to Avengers 4. So it's linked. It's not just a standalone thing.
Which is expected.
Yeah, which is expected, but also would be interesting to see how much it's linked in terms of, is the whole story going to feature some stuff from Avengers 4? Is, like, Michael Douglas going to disappear at the end, or is it just going to be mentioned throughout? Yeah. Apparently it takes place before Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, which is also what we expected.
Yeah. And there's 2 end of credit scenes that have been confirmed.
Yeah.
And apparently they're really good.
Okay. I think one of them will be about the movie, like Ant-Man and the Wasp. You'll have something related to that. And then the other one will be Avengers related.
Yeah. Since we've already had the Captain Marvel kind of tease from Avengers 4, don't think we'll get another Captain Marvel one. I think it'll be, Avengers 4 related.
Maybe Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Hawkeye
catches
up with Ant-Man or something.
Yeah. And apparently the movie's pretty good from initial reactions.
Yeah. What was the headline?
The headline is, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a goddamn delight. It's just a goddamn delight.
Yeah, it's a goddamn delight.
Goddamn delight. That's, when we come out of the movie and we watch it,
we're
just going to say, it's a goddamn delight, or it's not a goddamn delight. That will be the full review. That it will just be either one or the other. And yeah, apparently Evangeline Lilly is quite good in it.
Okay, well that's good. We're planning to have another guest for that episode, I think.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of guests coming up in a row, I think.
What's next? Oh, we don't have anything next week, yeah.
Well, we have some potential episodes, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So it connects to Avengers 4, pretty good movie, 2 end credit scenes.
Yeah. So there'll probably be a mid and then an end credit scene, just like most Marvel movies, I guess.
Yeah. It's only a couple of weeks away. It's kind of snuck up on us.
They've been hammering the marketing on TV, though. There's like a trailer every ad break.
On our TV?
Yeah, on Australian TV. I was watching the footy the other day, and they were just hammering it.
Oh.
And I think they had some... Nah, they didn't have some on the soccer, because that's on SBS, and they don't really...
Have ads,
yeah.
Yeah, the only TV I've really been watching is the World Cup and, I guess, Masterchef, and I haven't seen anything on Masterchef.
Oh, they'll probably hammer it on Masterchef this week.
Masterchef, they've just had ads for Incredibles 2 a lot.
Oh, yeah. Family show, family movie. I get it. Do you know Australian Masterchef is, like, big overseas for some reason?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, even people overseas watch Australian Masterchef.
Like, people in Asia watch it, I think. In Hong Kong and stuff. Even in India.
Yeah.
They watch it, yeah.
And they watch My Kitchen Rules as well.
My Kitchen Rules, like, it's very entertaining. Anyone can really get into it.
Yeah. Take whatever you want from that. But...
Maybe we should have a poll. Which is better, My Kitchen Rules or MasterChef?
I like My Kitchen Rules better. But I I never watched the full season. I only watched the starting parts with all the drama, and then I don't really care who wins at the end.
Yeah, My Kitchen Rules is all about the drama. Whereas Masterchef's about the cooking, but that's what makes it boring. Unless you're into cooking. But
Masterchef used to be good back in the day. I used to really enjoy it, but now it's just, yeah.
in both of them, people are like... So in My Kitchen Rules, they're just way too mean to everyone. Like, everyone just hates each other. And then in Masterchef, everyone's just way too nice
to each other. It's like, surely you don't like this person this much. There's a lot of crying and hugging in Masterchef.
Yeah. Well, anyway, back to what we're meant to be talking about.
Bit of a, we trailed off a bit there. Oops.
The Batman reboot. Well, now the Batman is a reboot, apparently.
Okay, I've got a theory about this, because it's a reboot, but it's also not a reboot. So, the article that I read said the Batman is a reboot. It's going to be set in the past, but it could also be linked to the DCEU. So, like, it could be part of the DCEU.
Yes.
So, my theory is they're going to make the movie, make it a standalone. If it's good, they're going to make that the starting point for the DCEU, and they'll bring, like, Wonder Woman over with, like, something from The Flash, probably, like changing the timeline, and Wonder Woman comes over because that's the only good character. And then they can just use this Batman instead of the Ben Affleck Batman. But if it's shit, it's just a standalone movie and they can just can it and be like, nah, it wasn't canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're just playing it safe.
The other option is the Flash movie. Because that's coming... Is that going to come out before the Batman? Or after
I think after the Batman.
Well, anyway, the Flash movie, because he's probably going to be going back in time and stuff. So maybe he does something to reboot the universe a little bit. And for some reason, the only person that gets rebooted is Batman. Everyone else stays the same.
I think they'll only do that if the Batman movie's good. But if it's not good, they won't do that. Well, they won't use this Batman. So they're just playing it safe. They're like, we'll just wait and see if this turns out good. And then if it turns out good, we'll use him for the future. I wonder who they're going to cast, though. Looking for a younger Batman. There hasn't really been any casting news, so...
And it's not Jake Gyllenhaal.
Nah. Well, that's who it was going to be, but...
Who else could it be?
Someone in the Jake Gyllenhaal age range, I think. Which is not too young. I think he's like 40, isn't he?
He'd be like at least mid-30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been around for a while, so I'm guessing he is. Actually, let's just look it up. Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he's 37.
37? Do you know, I didn't know this. Do you know how old Chris Pratt is? He's really old.
Yeah, he's like 40...
No, I think he turned 39.
Yeah, but he's been around a while.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal is 37 years old.
37?
Just looked it up.
We nailed it. Mid-30s.
So, 19th of December, 1980. Yeah, Chris Pratt, he looks younger than he is, but he's older.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris Evans is actually pretty young.
Oh, really?
He's younger than Chris Pratt.
Yeah, and Chris Hemsworth's quite old as well. He's not. He's mid-30s.
Hemsworth's pretty young too, I thought.
Thought he's mid-30s. Mid to late 30s.
Hemsworth's 34.
Yeah. Oh, not that bad. I know we're saying 30's old, but that's pretty harsh. You're 30, so... yeah.
Well, he's only 4 years older than me, so he's not that old. And Chris Evans is 37.
So same age as Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who they'll cast in this role. I'm thinking they might go for someone new, because Matt Reeves generally gets unknown-ish actors to star in his movies. Not unknown, but like up and coming. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes with this.
It's probably better if it's someone that's not that well known.
I guess Christian Bale wasn't super well known before.
Batman Begins, yeah. Apparently there's going to be a Man of Steel 2.
Yes. So, well, rumoured that Man of Steel 2 will be...
announced at Comic-Con. Is that why Henry Cavill's hitting the gym?
Yeah, that could be why Henry Cavill's hitting the gym. Or maybe he just went for a doctor's checkup and they're like, your cholesterol's too high, man. You got to stop eating tacos. Got to start hitting the gym again. So he's just trying to stay fit. It's nothing to do with Superman. We just all get too excited about it. He's just trying to be a healthy person.
Yeah.
No, but apparently they're going to confirm Man of Steel 2 soon.
Yeah, and it won't be directed by Zack Snyder, obviously.
No, I think he's done with DC stuff.
So with someone new, maybe it'll be a bit lighter in tone.
I hope so, because, yeah, well, Man of Steel 1 isn't bad, actually. I think it's one of the better movies in the DC movie universe.
Yeah, I don't mind it either.
But then in Batman v Superman, he just sucks.
He's just hating life. Like, he just hates everything.
Well, everyone in that movie just hates everything. I actually didn't mind him in Justice League. I thought it was okay. Other than the CGI mustache.
He's not in it for much, but for what he is in it for, I guess he's okay.
Yeah, he's not in it much, but if they kind of keep that tone for the next movie that he's in, then might be good. Maybe a Brainiac villain, which is a villain they've never done before, I think. Because they've done Zod, they've done Lex Luthor. They've done Lex Luthor to fucking death. Don't do him again.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg, I don't think's ever coming back.
He's so good. Loved him.
Could be good. Man of Steel 2, depending on who's attached to direct and what kind of tone they go for.
I saw the second trailer for Mission Impossible before Jurassic World 2.
It was on in my theater as well, but I was on my phone. I wasn't kind of watching.
I don't think I've seen that one. It gives away a bit more of the action sequences.
Oh, really? I wasn't really watching it. I kind of had it in the background, but it wasn't the trailer that I've normally seen.
It's not the one how he's in a truck and another truck's like about to collide with his truck. You know that?
No, but he's not in a truck. He's in a helicopter.
In that?
Yeah, he's in a helicopter and he's
Then
about
how's
to
he
collide.
on the road?
Because he's really low. He's in the low helicopter.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this one has another like little bit like that. He's also in a helicopter, actually. He's definitely in a helicopter for this one.
Yeah.
And then there's another helicopter like rolling down the hill. And he's like trying to take his belt off and he can't. And then the helicopter's about to hit him.
Oh,
and then
okay.
It cuts off.
Yeah. There seems to be lots of helicopter action in this. Because he also holds onto the rope and as the helicopter flies off. Do you know how he jumps onto the side of the helicopter? And I'm guessing he climbs up the helicopter and takes over it. And
So there's no one on the helicopter.
no, there's someone on that one, but he probably bashes
Henry
them up.
Cavill on it.
No, Henry Cavill's on the other helicopter. He's like got a machine gun shooting at him.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason I brought up this trailer because Henry Cavill looks massive compared to Tom Cruise.
He looks so big. Well, first off, he's like a foot taller than Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And he
He's
looks
probably
like
a foot wider than Tom Cruise.
Yeah. But I was actually discussing this with some other guys. In a fight, in real life, would you back Tom Cruise or Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill will just punch him and Tom Cruise will just...
For some reason, I would back Tom Cruise just because he's freaking crazy. Like, Henry Cavill doesn't do all these stunts.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
Tom Cruise
does
like,
a lot of his stunts, so
Yeah.
maybe he has the moves.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill has the strength, but maybe Tom Cruise has the skill.
Yeah, I feel like Tom Cruise would do something and get him. And Henry Cavill looks like a nice guy. He'll try and go easy on Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise would just
It's a bit of a Batman versus Superman sort of thing
Yeah.
happening.
Tom Cruise is going to be cast as Batman. We've got it.
We got it.
That's what's happening. Yeah.
Apparently it was going to be cast as Green Lantern, Hal Jordan.
Oh, really? Nah, don't rate that.
Because I've heard that they were going to go for like an older Hal Jordan. And he's like been in space and stuff. And he comes back and there's all these superheroes. And he thinks he's like going to be like this massive superhero, but he's just any other guy. Because like the Superman, Batman.
That kind of works
Wonder
with
Woman.
Tom Cruise's character, actually. It's like Tom Cruise in real life. He thinks he's the best, but yeah. He's still pretty cool, but, you know, he's a bit weird. Could work. Do you know Tom Cruise was originally going to be Iron Man back in the day?
Yeah, he was. Don't know if that would have worked, but
Wouldn't have been as good as Robert Downey.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about before this?
Man of Steel 2. This is the episode we just keep deviating off the actual reason for this is we actually don't have that much to talk about this time. So we're just talking about whatever we want.
Yeah. No, this shit's more interesting than the other shit that we have to talk about. Did I have something else that I had in terms of news that I told you?
Yeah, you had something about the Star Wars standalone movies.
Oh, yeah. This is... Yeah.
So apparently someone said they're not going to be made, but now they are going to be made.
Yeah, there was lots of news during this week, and it kept going back and forth. But people were like, oh, since Solo did shit, they're going to can the rest of the Star Wars Solo movies. not solo as in solo, but like, you get what I mean? Like, only one character. Like
Yeah, the
Obi-Wan.
standalone.
Yeah, the
like,
standalone ones.
Not related to the
To
Star
the trilogy.
Wars
Yeah.
trilogy.
So they said they were going to count all those, but apparently they're not. And they're just reevaluating budgets.
What are the other ones in development anyway?
Obi-Wan, I think. But none of them have been confirmed. They're just rumored. So Obi-Wan and Boba Fett, I think. Yeah. I think those were the only two. I heard they were doing a Mos Eisley movie. I don't know what they would do with that, but...
The Cantina.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a movie set in the cantina, apparently.
Is it like that movie with Jon Favreau? And he has like a food truck or something?
That would be hilarious if that's what they did with this movie. That's actually a good movie. Have you seen it?
No. What's it called? Chef.
Chef, yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. It's got Robert Downey Jr. in it for a bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and Scarlett Johansson.
It's basically Iron Man, except it's nothing like Iron Man at all.
It's just a happy spin-off.
Happy spin-off where he's divorced and has a child and makes a food truck.
Is Robert Downey Jr. like a rich businessman or something in it?
Yeah.
And he gives him money?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's pretty much just himself.
Yeah. I can't remember what Scarlett Johansson is, but the food's really good. When you watch it, it makes you hungry.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, moving on. Another tangent that we went off on there.
So Disney outbid Comcast?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah, again. Comcast may come back with a bid again anyway. So,
yeah, this might go on for a while.
Yeah, this might go on for ages, but at the moment Disney's winning, which is what we want.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's what I want. I don't know if it's what you want.
I don't care about the other Fox movies or the like Fox News and all the other stuff that Fox has. I wouldn't mind if they just get the Marvel characters back.
I think they tried doing that, but it's either all or nothing. So they're not splitting up their assets.
Yeah. Because at the same time, I don't think it's good for Disney to own everything. So, because Fox has a lot of other stuff apart from the Marvel.
Yeah, they got their news channels, they got their TV channels.
And even in movies, they've got like all the Avatar movies. And what else do 20th Century Fox have?
They have a lot of comedy shit, don't they?
They do a lot of other stuff.
And I think they own the NFL rights in America. I could be wrong with that though.
Oh, okay. Disney owns ESPN.
So that's basketball. Yeah, I think they own some sport stuff in America as well. So yeah, the problem with Disney owning all of this could be that Disney just has all the chips, so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, and it could end up being a bad thing.
Yeah, definitely. But I do want to see Fantastic Four and X-Men in the MCU.
So apparently Peyton Reed, the director of Ant-Man and the Wasp, said that he has an idea for a Fantastic Four movie that could link into the MCU.
It could be an Ant-Man plus Fantastic Four spin-off.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty interesting.
It would work. I think they got to do more of that kind of stuff once Avengers 4 finishes, because after Avengers 4, there's no real like big idea anymore, so they got to think outside the box a little bit and...
Yeah, do something different.
Yeah, do something different. Not make it stale again. If they start again with just, let's do the solo movies and then build up to another big villain, just not going to be as good. I feel like they should do something different once Avengers 4 is finished.
Yeah, probably more team-up movies.
Team-up movies, yeah. And, yeah, eventually do like a big one with like Galactus or something, but...
And the last thing I had was there might be so Silver and Black is apparently back on.
Yeah, Silver Sable. Black Cat, my two favorite characters.
Not Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger. Apparently Cloak and Dagger is good.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah. I might actually watch it.
Yeah, but so apparently Silver and Black is back on. And the other thing is they might do another Spiderverse sort of spin-off with Silk.
Yeah, you told me about this, Ed. I have no idea who that is.
So Silk, I've got a very good explanation of who Silk is. Silk is Cindy Moon. So Cindy Moon was bitten by the same radioactive spider that bit Peter Parker. As a result, she gained similar arachnid-themed abilities as Peter, and while she's not as strong as Spider-Man, she's faster and her spider sense, dubbed the Silk Sense, is more powerful. Unlike Peter, who primarily relies on web shooters, Silk can also shoot webbing out of her fingertips. The spin-off won't be the first time Cindy has been depicted on the big screen, as she was played by Tiffany Espenson in Spider-Man Homecoming and Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, so we both looked up this chick and we have no idea who she is. Well,
I don't recall ever seeing her.
She looks familiar.
I definitely didn't see her in Infinity War, for sure. Yeah. I might have seen her in Homecoming, but...
Well, the only place she could have been in Infinity War is on the bus, because I don't think she was there in Wakanda. From memory.
Yeah, she was the one that was shooting web out of her fingertips.
Yeah, she was just in the background. As like Thanos is clicking his fingers, she's just shooting web out of her fingertips. Like, this is gonna stop him. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
But yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. But if it's not in the same universe as the Tom Holland Spider-Man, which a lot of, like, all these movies are not. They're just...
It'll be in the Venom universe.
Yeah, it'll be in the Venom universe, so I don't really care that much.
Yeah. It would be better if they kind of brought it all together, but...
Yeah.
Maybe they will at some point.
Maybe, yeah.
Not all of them together, but like maybe have one character from the MCU and then all the Spider-Man characters coming together and doing a movie, which wouldn't be too bad. I would watch that.
Don't be too bad, yeah. Because the Silk Sense is more powerful than the Spider Sense.
The Silk Sense. She actually knew Thanos was coming like 2 months beforehand.
She knew it she knew it when she was like born.
Yeah, she knew it was coming.
The moment she got bitten by that spider, she knew.
She knew, but she was just being a little bitch and didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, that's why she wasn't there.
Yeah, she knew.
She bailed.
Yeah, she bailed. She's on a different planet. It's in the post credit scene. You actually have to wait 2 hours after the movie finishes in the cinema, and then you get the special screening of
You just see her shooting web out of her fingertips on some foreign island. Alright, that's really all we had for news. There wasn't much this week.
We probably talked about it for a lot longer than we should have, though. There's a lot of random
We probably could have got through that in like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah.
But we talked about it for 36 minutes.
Yeah, oops.
Alright, we'll talk about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which we saw last night. My expectations of this movie weren't that high at all. So in the first Jurassic World movie, I went in with really high expectations because I thought it would be as good as Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park, but it ended up just being like, it was just an action movie, like a summer blockbuster action movie.
I enjoy the first Jurassic World, actually. It's a good time.
If you're going for just some good action sequences and not that much of a story.
It's not groundbreaking by any standards, but it's a good time.
Then you'll have a good time. But for this movie, I went in with expectations that it was going to be like just an action movie. Just an action movie with dinosaurs. And that's what it was. So I wasn't that disappointed. It was I actually had a good time in the end.
Yeah, I had a good time in this as well. Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to it. I kind of didn't want to watch it. There was a point yesterday where I'm like...
You messaged me and you're like, I don't really want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are we going to do an episode on our podcast if you haven't even watched the movie?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I should probably watch it.
Yeah, I forced myself. I had to work on the morning as well, so I was tired. It's a bit sleepy. It's a bit sleepy during the movie as well, but it was good enough to keep me awake. If it was a shit movie, I would have fallen asleep, 100%, but
you didn't even come home and fall asleep. You came home and watched the World Cup.
I did. I was excited. I was excited for the World Cup, so...
You watched what's that Belgian striker's name?
Batsuya.
Not Lukaku, the one that substituted.
Batsuya, yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. You watched his special.
Yeah, he's great.
10 minutes of his special.
That was worth it. I had to stay up for that. It was a must-see match. It was a must-see Batsuya sesh. But yeah, I wouldn't say I was enthralled for the whole time, but it had moments that were really good in it.
It had some twists that even I didn't really see coming. We can talk about it in spoilers, but yeah, there was some stuff that, I mean, it's not great. It's not like the best thing ever, but there were some twists that kept me interested. Yeah.
I was bored for some of the movie, but I would say the second half is much better than the first half.
The story is basically the volcano on the island which Jurassic World was built
Can't
on.
remember what it's called, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not dormant anymore, it's active, it's about to explode, and the whole first act of the movie is whether these dinosaurs should be saved from going extinct on this island because of the volcano.
Most of that stuff is unfortunately spoiled in the trailer.
Yeah, the trailers are really bad for this. If you haven't seen them, don't watch the trailers because they give away way too much.
Yeah, there's a lot given away in the trailers.
There's a lot of suspenseful moments in the movie,
but they're in the trailer as well.
The trailers just give away what happens in those moments. If I hadn't watched the trailers, I might have enjoyed this even more because the way it's directed it's almost a bit like a horror movie.
I wouldn't say it's like super scary, but if you're like, there were some little kids in the theater that I reckon were a bit scared.
There are definitely some horror aspects to it because it's not the same director as the first one.
Yeah, it's J.A. Boyena for this one.
Yeah, and he directed
Insidious, yeah?
No,
which one was it?
he directed My Holidays, which is a short film in 1999.
He did that Tom Holland
Sponge
movie.
Man, which is also a short. He did The Orphanage. I think that's a
horror movie. Yeah,
I think that's a horror movie. That was his first first feature film because the other two were short films.
He did The Impossible as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did The Impossible, which is not really a horror movie.
That's not a horror
That's
movie.
the one about the tsunami, right?
Yeah, that's got Tom Holland in it.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, and he did A Monster Calls,
which is kind of a horror movie.
Yeah, a thriller. That was his last movie, and then he did this. But it's definitely like a different style to the first one, and it didn't even have because the first one it felt like a Jurassic Park movie because it had the music and everything as well.
Yeah,
and it was sort of similar, but this is different. It didn't really have the music at all. Like maybe one spot it had it.
I think it has it in the end credits, but that's about it. I can't remember it being in there that much. It's got lots of suspenseful music and silent parts. I think the idea for this movie was the second half of it, and then they're like, how do we get this second half to work? So then they had to have the first half, which is like, oh yeah, that happens so that this can happen without spoiling it.
I don't know if it was that way or if it was the other way. Maybe they thought that there's going to be a volcano on this island and they need to, or there'll be this dilemma of whether they get the dinosaurs off the island. And you see in the trailer they try to get them off the island. And then after that, they're like, so what are we going to do now?
Yeah, because that's like half a movie.
Yeah. But surprisingly, it kind of works okay in the end.
Yeah, I feel like there's a bit of a tonal change between that first half and the second half.
The first half's definitely much more of a big action movie feel, whereas the second half's more of like a thriller.
A contained thriller kind of setting.
The first half feels more like the previous movie.
It does.
And the second half becomes another movie.
I enjoyed the second half more than the first half.
Well, the second act definitely slows down. The pace does slow down.
Yeah. And it's a bit boring.
It takes a while to get going as well, the movie.
Yeah, it does.
Like, you don't really see dinosaurs for a while, do you? I don't remember seeing...
Well, you see them in, like, news clips and stuff at the start.
Actually, you see them in the first sequence.
Yeah.
You see one in the first sequence, at least. And then it takes a while, and then it gets back. Once the action gets going, it's good.
Yeah.
What do you think of the actors?
Chris Pratt is awesome as usual. He's good in everything he does, I think.
He was alright.
I think he's just got, like, he's charismatic. So he carries whatever movie he's in. Bryce Dallas Howard was okay as well. Not the worst. Not the best.
She was probably better in this one than the first one.
Yeah. A lot less screaming and a lot more doing stuff in this one. The kid with the glasses, I didn't like him. He tried to be too funny, but he wasn't that funny.
I found him funny in some spots. He was okay. He was okay. Like the Jake Johnson character from the first one.
He was. But Jake Johnson's funny, I think, but he was okay.
Yeah.
At parts.
And then the vet?
She doesn't get too much screen time, unfortunately.
Yeah, she disappears for like half the movie.
Yeah. So Can't really say much about her. She's not in it for all that long.
And then there's a couple of returning characters. So Jeff Goldblum, who's in the trailers, he's not actually in it that much. He's at the start and he's at the end, and that's it.
I would say he's hardly in it at all.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, I actually didn't even know what the hell he was saying, like, half the time.
He keeps using, like, really big words. And he mumbles, he does his thing. Like, he mumbles on and says random shit for lots of time. So, he's a cameo appearance. He's a cameo.
I actually had no idea what he was saying. In summary, all he was saying is dinosaurs are bad and we shouldn't
But he has like a 5-minute monologue about it. Yeah. There was also this guy that was trying really hard to be Robert De Niro. Do you know which guy I'm talking about?
Robert De Niro?
Yeah. This guy that was trying really hard to be Robert De Niro.
Oh, was he that army officer guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That guy makes some very, very suspect decisions towards the end of the movie. There's
actually some people that make really suspect decisions all throughout this movie.
Yeah. It's not as bad as the first one, though, because the first one, I had no sympathy for most of the characters because they did stupid stuff and they probably deserve to die.
They're a bit smarter in this, although there's some stupid stuff that happens still. He was actually okay, the army officer guy.
Yeah.
He's a bit over the top, though.
Yeah, he's definitely over the top. And the moment you see him, anyway, we'll talk about it in spoilers, but you know he's going to go in a certain way.
And the other main villain guy, I thought he was way over the top. Like, really over the top.
And again, I knew the moment he was introduced that this, like, you can't trust this guy for sure.
His character's just like, I'm evil for the sake of being evil kind of character. No real motives. Well, money.
His motive is just money.
Yeah. Which is always a shit motive, but...
I'm pretty sure he's making good money.
He looked
because he's
like
living in that mansion.
Yeah, he looked like he was living fine.
He's always wearing these really nice suits and ties, so I think he's doing alright, but I don't know. Maybe it's a Ben Affleck situation.
Yeah, he's spending too much. Financial troubles. Any other characters? There's a little girl character. There's always a kid character in these Jurassic Park movies.
She was okay.
Yeah, she's fine. She's not in it a whole lot either.
She plays a pretty important role, but yeah, she was okay. There was the older guy.
Yeah. Is he a returning character?
I think he might be in the second. Let me just check this out. I think he might be in the second one. Jurassic Park. His name's James Cromwell.
He was okay for what he was in as well.
He was in Babe. No, he's not in any of the other ones.
But he's like related to the guy in the first one, I guess.
Yeah.
They're like
partners.
So
I think they came up with the genetic formula, whatever it was, together. What do you think of the CGI? Because there's a lot of it.
Yeah, it was good. It's fine.
Especially the first act where they're on the island. There's a lot of CGI, and it looked okay. It's fine.
Whatever you say about the first Jurassic World movie, you got to say it looks good. There's like lots of good CGI in it.
Well, the difference between that movie and this movie is that movie is mostly during the daytime.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of the action in light, whereas this movie, I would say maybe 70% of it is dark.
Dark, yeah.
There's hardly anything during the day. Like the whole volcano scenes are during the day, but the rest of it is pretty much during the night.
But the CGI is quite good. I couldn't really find any flaws. Didn't look super fake at any times. You obviously know it's CGI because there's dinosaurs, but...
They might have used practical effects for some of it.
I think they probably did use it for most of the second half.
The music was fine.
Yeah, it's like...
what it was, yeah.
Suspenseful.
My only issue with the movie was it did slow down a bit in the second act.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Which takes you out of it. But I think I went in with such low expectations that the bar wasn't that high for me to have a good time with this one. In the end, it's not bad.
There's definitely some plot issues as well, which I can get to in the spoilers, but there's some stuff that happens and you're like, wait, how'd that happen?
There's a lot of that, yeah. You definitely have to suspend your disbelief a lot.
Yeah, you just gotta go in and just watch it and not try and think about it too much. And it's a fun time. Yeah, I had a good time.
I guess they're taking this franchise in a different direction. It's not, because Jurassic Park, I see it as not just an action movie. There's a lot of themes that are discussed in that movie as well. And you can think about that movie logically and it actually makes sense. It's constructed in a way that it makes sense. Whereas these two new movies in this new Jurassic World franchise, they're just action movies. They're just
fun stuff that you
just
watch
fun
with your
action movies.
friends and
just don't
just
think
have a
about
good
what
time.
you're watching. So in a way, I'm a bit sad because I thought Jurassic World could be a bit more than just an action movie. But if this is the way they're going to go, then I guess it's the way they're going to go.
Yeah, I don't mind it, to be honest. Fun action movies are not the worst. At least it's not a boring piece of shit.
Yeah, it definitely isn't boring because there's a lot happening in the movie.
Yeah. It's almost two movies. There's like two different plot lines, so...
Apart from that middle part where it slows down a bit, there's a lot of stuff happening. So I guess we'll give our ratings. What are you going to go with this one?
78.29.
Okay.
Yeah.
78.29. I would say this is a tough one. I would say probably I can't give it watch it at the cinema. I think it's just a bit. I mean, if you're just out and you got nothing else to watch, you could watch it at the cinema. But I don't think you have to go out of your way to watch it at the cinema. But it is worth a watch at some stage, maybe on your streaming service or
DVD. Do
DVD,
people watch
Blu-ray,
DVDs
yeah.
anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, VHS.
VHS, yeah. They'll make a special VHS copy for this one.
So however you watch your movies, I think it's worth a watch at some
Floppy
stage.
disk.
You're going to need a lot of floppy disks
Yeah,
to watch this.
One of 250.
Each disc is a minute.
Yeah, each disc is a minute, and then you put the next on it.
Probably even less than that. Probably if you have a 4K,
High
4K
quality
movie,
one. Yeah.
10 seconds?
Yeah. So if that is your preferred streaming service, then yeah, watch it on floppy
Yeah.
disk at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it watch it on floppy disk.
It's going to take you a lot of effort.
You
But
can't watch it on anything else other than a floppy disk.
you have to find a computer that has a floppy disk drive
Yeah.
first. Okay, I guess we'll jump into spoilers.
Yeah.
So the first scene in the movie, it starts in the ocean, and they have a barrier to the island at the bottom of the ocean, and these guys go through to get the. So the other thing I didn't like about this movie is they bring back this hybrid raptor or whatever it is, the genetically modified. They bring it back as a
Indoraptor, that's what it's called.
yeah. What was the first one? Indominus Rex.
Indominus Rex.
Yeah, so it uses the bone specimen. Did they use that to make this?
They
right?
use the mixture of the Indominus Rex and the raptors.
And the raptors, yeah. And it's meant to be smarter than the Indominus Rex because it can follow human.
Like, why the fuck do they want dinosaurs as weapons? Just use fucking guns if you want weapons. Why are you trying to make dinosaurs as weapons? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, so basically it can follow human orders.
Yeah.
But the actual practical use of that is questionable.
In what way is that better than going onto a battlefield with a bunch of machine guns and just clearing out people? Because
you can shoot at dinosaurs and they'll die anyway.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
It's not indestructible.
It makes close to zero sense as to why they want to weaponize. And that was the story in the first one as well. Like, why they want to weaponize these dinosaurs. But I guess that's what's happening in these movies. And you just suspend your disbelief about it for a sec. And you're like, yeah, fair enough.
And the way it works is pretty questionable as well. Like, you have to use that gun with the laser.
So that's what I was thinking. If you're going to be close enough to point a laser at some guy with a gun...
Why can't you just shoot him?
Why can't you just shoot him? Why are you pointing the laser and then telling the dinosaur to shoot him when you can just shoot him?
Saves on bullets.
Yeah. It's actually just for tax purposes.
Environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end, it wasn't following anyone's orders and didn't look like it was going to follow orders.
Yeah.
Unless you had the gun.
They've been through this. There's been 4 movies. They've tried to control the dinosaurs. It hasn't worked. Each time people die. Why are they still trying to do this?
And the closest anyone's got is Chris Pratt with Blue.
Yeah.
At the end, Blue just runs away. He's like, I've had enough of your shit. I'm going.
Yeah. Did you realize when he runs away, he kind of turns around and says something a little bit, and then he runs? Yeah. It's like latest fuckers.
Yeah, because like Chris Pratt's like, yeah, come with me. We'll keep you safe. And then he's like, and then he looks at the cage. He's like, nah, man.
It's like, nah, fuck that. So the whole reason they got Chris Pratt was, I guess, so because he has that connection to Blue, and they needed his blood. Yeah, that's all. That's all. The only reason. And the only reason they got Bryce Dallas Howard was
because she knew the island. But did she really?
Yeah, not really. I think they just needed her to get Chris Pratt.
Maybe.
Basically, they go to the island and save some of the animals and get double-crossed. Yeah. And this is where some of the plot stuff gets a bit dodgy, because due to how when they're on the island, Bryce Dallas Howard's character and Justice Smith's character stay in the bomb shelter place, and then Chris Pratt's character goes with the army dude in a car, and they drive off to try and find Blue, and then they find Blue, and then Chris Pratt gets shot and stunned. But then the next scene, you see him running back, and he somehow ran all the way from wherever they drove to and ran back to the bomb shelter in like a matter of 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that scene where the lava's like coming towards him and he's still kind of stunned.
Yeah, yeah.
And that dinosaur, one of the herbivores comes up to him and licks him.
He licks him in the face.
Wakes up.
Yeah. It's just like, what's happening here?
And then he managed to get up, and then like 2 minutes later he's running full pace down the hill.
And he somehow made it all the way back. There's a lot of points in this movie where characters end up in places and you're like, how did you end up here? Like, also, Justice Smith's character somehow ends up in the lab. It's like, how'd you end up here? Like, what are you doing with all the scrubs and stuff on?
Yeah.
Like, how did this happen?
Don't these guys even know who's working for them? Yeah. Like, can anyone just walk in and be like, yeah, I'll work for you?
Another scene is when Bryce Dallas Howard's character gets punctured by the Indominus Rex. And then the next scene, you just see her on top of this, like, thing where Chris Pratt's character is. Like, it's like this dome thing. It's like, how'd you get there? And also, where'd you get the gun from?
She had time to find a gun and then walk up onto that dome.
There's a lot of stuff where characters just appear places for convenience.
But yeah, anyway, going back to that first scene, they leave the door open.
Yeah, and then the thing goes through and they kind of never talk about that again.
Yeah, and then it comes like at the very end.
Yeah. Surely it's been doing stuff in the middle. Also, that dinosaur is the biggest, like, ex machina kind of thing where it just, whenever someone thinks they've gotten away, it jumps out of nowhere and kills them. Yeah. Every single time. That's all it does.
It did that in the first one too. And the other question I had was, it's been 3 years since the events of Jurassic World, and the Indominus Rex, it's completely decomposed. Like, it's just a skeleton at the bottom of the ocean.
I guess that animal, like, licked it to the bones. It ate all of it. It was hungry.
Yeah, maybe it did. Yeah, like it just ate all the meat.
Yeah, just every single piece.
I wouldn't have thought. Do humans decompose like that? We probably do, maybe. In 3 years, it would be skeleton. Do we?
You'd still have some muscle tissue on you, I think. You would be like a complete skeleton. But you would be decomposed, obviously.
And it was at the bottom of the ocean, so I don't know if that makes any difference. Maybe.
Not sure if that makes a difference. But it was basically just bones.
Yeah. It was just a skeleton lying there. And they cut out a bit of its bone to use as a sample.
Yeah, so they crossbreed that.
I thought that first scene was pretty good.
Yeah.
The way it starts. And then it does slow down after that, when they're slowly introducing all the characters.
Yeah, and then going to the island part's a bit slow as well. The part when the volcano explodes is pretty cool, and they're running away, and there's some tension and stuff in that. But then after that, it slows down again.
And the moment they introduced the main villain of the movie, I knew that guy was not like, you couldn't trust that guy.
Yeah.
Just the way it looks.
Yeah.
You just can't trust him.
It's basically like the Incredibles villain thing as
Yeah,
well.
it's pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row, I just
You just
knew
pick
what
the
was
villain
gonna happen.
straight away. Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
It's just these suave guys in suits. You can't trust
You
them.
can't trust them. Yeah. Suave guy in a suit comes and offers you something. Never trust him.
What did you think of the twist with Maisie, the kid?
Yeah, it was alright. It's like, I definitely didn't expect it, probably because I wasn't looking for that twist. I don't think anyone was looking for that twist, but...
When did you figure it out? Because there's a part when she looks at a photo, and it's got the maid, but a lot
the maid's younger. I didn't figure it out then.
It's got someone that looks exactly like her.
I didn't figure it out then. I was like, oh, that's interesting. What's that got to do with anything? But I didn't kind of think about it because there was other stuff happening. I guess someone would have figured that out from that scene. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a bit like confused at what was going on. Like, why did she... Maybe her mum looked exactly like her.
Yeah, maybe they just look the same. I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
But it turns out that she was a clone of her mum, and her mum never actually had kids.
Yeah, and she died, I think.
So that was interesting. And then at the very end, where she lets out all the dinosaurs.
Oh, that's the dumbest shit, man. Come on. These dinosaurs nearly killed you. You were there. They nearly killed you. They nearly killed you multiple times. And now you're just going to let them into the world so they can kill
now want
other
everyone
people?
else in the world to experience that.
Yeah.
How that feels like.
At first, I thought Bryce Dallas Howard's character was going to push the button. I'm like, you're the dumbest bitch if you push this button. Like, you've nearly died multiple times in this movie directly because of the dinosaurs. And you're going to let them out now? It makes a little more sense that the kid lets them out, but still, it's the dumbest decision.
But that's not the only suspect decisions that characters make. The army dude, or the guys. It's funny how he walks in. It's like, hey, I want my bonus.
Yeah.
Dude, you'll get your bonus. Just get out of there.
That's all he fucking talks about once he's got the dinosaurs. He's just like, I want my bonus.
And then he opens. He shoots the Indominus. What is it? Indoraptor
with like a couple of tranks.
Why? And then he opens the cage and goes in, leaves the cage unlocked, dies a horrific death.
Yeah. There's more people that die in this movie than the other one. And they actually show them dying. There's no blood or anything, but they show them getting eaten.
Well, this guy loses his whole arm.
And then he gets eaten.
Yeah. He's got a thing about teeth.
He's making a necklace or some shit. That's what he says. It's like another one for my necklace.
Does he want to be Black Panther or something?
I don't know, man. I know what he's... At the start, I thought he was going to sell the teeth.
Yeah, I thought he was selling
make money. But then he's like, oh, another one for my necklace. I'm like, is this really worth it for a necklace? When the fuck are you going to wear this necklace? Like...
After he gets his bonus, when he's lying on the coast of Hawaii somewhere.
And you're going to wear a necklace of different sized dinosaur teeth because that's real stylish.
It be symmetrical. Yeah, they're all different sizes. Yeah, that guy was a very questionable character.
And then basically the Indoraptor gets loose, and that's when I kind of started liking it a bit more, and it kind of picks up because it's like
I knew it was going to get loose anyway, but
yeah, and it's like in this like big house. It's like a mansion, and the Indoraptor's loose, and it's just like killing everyone.
Is that the same mansion as Bruce Wayne's mansion?
What, Batman Begins?
Yeah, it looks, I don't know, like all mansions probably look like that, but it looks similar.
Yeah, it could be, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's really cool. It's like, that's the concept that I really enjoyed. It's kind of like a horror movie with a dinosaur.
With dinosaurs.
Yeah, and you're stuck in this mansion and you can't get out.
Well, I guess you could get out, but if you really wanted to.
Yeah, actually that is true. But it is like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it is.
And there's a lot of, suspenseful scenes with that.
After that, yeah. But then again, they ruin a lot of them in the trailer.
Yeah.
So don't watch the trailer if you haven't seen it.
There's this funny scene where the Indoraptor's loose and it's after the little girl. And the little girl runs into a room and then gets under the covers. I'm like, is this really a time for a nap? It's like... Should you be running somewhere else? Why'd you get into the bed? What's the point of that?
The cover's going to protect her.
Yeah.
That's why she put the blanket on.
Yeah, she puts a blanket on. She just gets into bed. She like snuggles in. I thought that was pretty
cold.
funny. Yeah.
It was cold.
I actually started laughing when that happened. There's also this other scene where there's the explosion in the lab and Blue gets blown up. Like he's running and he gets blown up and he kind of like flies through the air and hits the wall. And then he gets up and just starts running again. I started laughing at that as well. I'm like, this is hilarious.
Isn't it? I think it's actually a she.
Oh, is Blue a girl?
Yeah, I think they call her a she. But yeah, that part was pretty funny. Blue's like, hey, something's going to blow up. And then starts running.
And then the funniest thing is where she hits the wall, gets up, and then starts running again. Just straight away.
What do you think of the guy running the auction?
Oh, yeah. What's his name? Toby Jones.
Yeah, he's in
Captain America.
Yeah, he is in Captain America. Yeah. I knew he was going to die as well. He died. The way he dies is pretty funny. He like closes the elevator. Yeah. It's like, we're all safe. And then it opens again.
Also, his wig is like very clearly a wig.
Yeah.
It's like, you can tell it's a wig. Yeah, there was nothing much to his character. He's not in it for that long.
And that dinosaur that breaks through the wall?
Yeah, he just runs into the woods.
So that one's a herbivore, obviously.
Or else it would have
died. Yeah.
Eaten them. The T-Rex has his normal ex machina.
Yeah, what's with the T-Rex? Because he doesn't eat people.
Yeah, he just eats other dinosaurs.
We've seen multiple movies now where he just doesn't eat people.
He's like, nah, not going to do that. Just going to eat all the other dinosaurs. Wait, no, but he does eat the guy at the end of this movie. He eats the villain, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he does. Oh, no, he does eat the guy sitting on the toilet in the first one, too.
Yeah, he does. But most of the time...
And he eats the guy at the start of the movie as well.
He tries to, but he doesn't.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, he tries, though.
Yeah, he tries.
Maybe he just eats certain humans.
Yeah, just the dicks.
It's like being a vegetarian, but you eat chicken.
Yeah, he's just eating the dicks. He gauges their character and he's like, is this guy a dick? Yeah, okay, I'll eat him.
Yeah, it's a very specific diet. But basically the T-Rex is out there and he meets a lion. And they have a conversation.
he goes, and the T-Rex is like, oh yes, I'm finally free. Where should I go?
Let's go to the zoo.
There's lots more to do, man. What are you doing? Did you stay for the end credit scene?
I did stay for the end credit scene. It's very short, but basically the pterodactyls in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah.
It's literally 10 seconds. It's almost not even worth staying because the credits go for a while.
Is it end credits?
End.
Oh,
yeah, right at the end.
I'm actually looking forward to the next one, though.
Yeah, it might be a bit like Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
So the dinosaurs take over the planet.
It would be cool if they do a time jump. I was thinking the same thing. It's like post-apocalyptic, but like not too much of a time jump, but like Chris Pratt's like older and he's still alive and he's like the only one that knows how to deal with the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
That'll be interesting. It's definitely something they haven't done before. Because a lot of these movies, they just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and you kind of knew with the way it finished that they wanted to set up for that for the next movie. Because, like, very clearly the chick shouldn't have pressed the button. And anyone who was a normal person wouldn't have pressed the button. But she presses them. And it's like, oh yeah, but it's for the sequel. But hopefully still has Chris Pratt instead of like a new cast.
Yeah, I think they'll still go with the same cast.
Apparently Bryce Dallas Howard's going to look into directing rather than...
Oh, so she might not come back.
She might not come back, or she might come back.
Yeah, overall we had a pretty good time with Jurassic World, surprisingly.
Yeah. I probably would watch it again for a while, but I would watch it again in the future if it was on TV or something, or if my friends want to watch it. We haven't watched a bad movie yet this year.
Yeah, so far all of our reviews have been, I would say they've landed more in the positive region for every movie.
I wouldn't say it's been a great year for movies. Most of them have been good, but not great.
Yeah, average.
But hopefully there's some coming up forward that could be better. Because the top 10 list for the year is looking a bit average at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't even say I would have a top 10, but a lot of the movies in the top 10 aren't even that good.
We haven't seen some movies as well.
So in terms of what we're going to do next week, we have the option of watching Hotel Transylvania 3.
apparently the first two aren't even that bad.
Yeah, I haven't even seen them.
I don't know if we have to watch the first two before we watch this one. If we are, then I don't want to watch it, because I don't want to watch the first two. But if we could just go and watch this one, then yeah, maybe I'll do it.
Maybe we'll just watch this one, because last time we tried to watch a couple of movies in a week, we failed miserably. So
Yeah.
we won't do that. Yeah, maybe we'll just go in fresh with this and just...
It could
see
be
how
it could be either the worst movie we watch or the best movie we watch.
Yeah, we kind of want a bad movie.
Yeah. There's also the Sicario movie coming out next weekend, I think, but I haven't seen the first Sicario either.
Yeah, I haven't seen the first one. But maybe we'll do Hotel Transylvania 3.
Yeah. We'll look at the reviews during the week, and then depending on that, we'll...
So if they're really bad, we'll go watch it.
Yeah.
Sure.
You might have thought it was the other way around, but that's actually what we want.
Yeah, that's not how we function here. If it's in the 90s or 80s, we're like, nah, that's not good. If it's in the 20s, then definitely.
Yeah. 100%. If it's 50s, we're like, maybe, we'll see.
So Jurassic World, just to finish up, apparently it's going to make 145 million US domestic for opening weekend. That's a lot less than what the first one made, but
Still a lot.
for some reason the first one did like ridiculously well.
It'll do really well in China, though. For some reason, the Chinese people love these Jurassic Park movies.
So I'll probably still end up making around $1 billion, I think, which is, I think for this movie, that's probably pretty good.
It's better than it probably deserves, but...
The first movie definitely overperformed, and even $1 billion is probably overperforming for this movie, to be honest.
Alright, I think that's all we have to say about this.
Yeah, that's it. Guess you can tell everyone how to contact us.
Yeah, so we got our email, cognitiverecalibrationpodcast@gmail.com, Twitter @seekrecalibration, and then on Instagram and Facebook @cognitive recalibration.
And we're on iTunes as usual, Stitcher Radio, and iHeartRadio, which Taran always seems to laugh about. Like, who uses iHeartRadio? But people use it. Yeah. I know it.
It's you, isn't it? You're the one that's using it. You bastard.
I have actually used it before.
Yeah.
But not for this. The other thing was we introduced our theme music in our last episode. So let us know if you like it or not, because you're probably going to hear it in every episode going forward now.
Yeah. You made it, didn't you?
Yeah, I made it my own personal creation.
He's multi-talented. It's not bad. I've heard it once or something.
We had a couple of we had 2 or 3 options that we wanted to go for, but we ended up going with this one.
Yeah. Let us know if you hate it, love it, don't care about it.
But anyway, I think that's all we've got for this week. We probably extend this episode way longer than
this was probably like a half an hour episode. I don't know how we did it for so long. We're just talking about random
We didn't even
shit.
have that much to talk about. We just talked rubbish the whole episode.
Yeah, oops.
I hope you had a good time listening to it.
Yeah, hope you loved listening to our rubbish.
Next week you might get even more.
Yeah, next week there might be lots of rubbish going on. Get ready to hear more about who Tom Cruise would beat and who would lose to.
It's going to be more of that.
Yeah, more of that and more random news about Michael Bay, probably.
I guess we'll call it a day and we'll see you next week.
See you guys next week.